Greetings, I'm Helena Pugh, a Marine Corps veteran and the host of your 5-Minute Salute. Today I have with me Eric Criner from the Sunshine State of Florida. How's it going, Eric?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty well. So now tell me, how did you become a member of our nation's military?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was starting college and I didn't have any money for tuition, and I knew I had to get through college, and I walked in the recruiter's office and he said, let's talk about this scholarship thing for the Army. And I had no idea what I was getting into. That's how it all started. So,
Hook, line, and sinker.
I'll tell you what, it was one of the best decisions that I didn't even make. 20 years later, I retired as a young lieutenant colonel, so it must have worked out okay.
Right. So it all worked well in your favor.
It did. So they paid for all my college, and next thing I knew, I was a lieutenant. Then I was in Panama getting shot at. And I'm like, I don't know. I need to rethink this.
Right. So now tell me about the Veterans Real Estate Benefits Program.
Leaving the Army, I retired. I mean, one of the biggest things I wanted to do was figure out how can I give back to veterans. And I didn't want to get into the contractor mode. I didn't want to go back to work on base, but I wanted to give back to veterans. And I've always been in the real estate space, and I'm a real estate broker. And so I put the two together. I said, I'm going to figure out a way to make veterans' home buying and selling experience better, have them work with great agents, and thank them after we close. And it took a couple of years to break the code, but about 10 years ago, we broke the code, and it's grown since. Last year we gave over $1 million back to veterans, thanking them for their service to our nation.
Yes, so now, right now, the interest rates are really high, and everyone's kind of hearing this, don't buy. What's your take on that?
I think now is the best time to buy, and here's why. Because first of all, if you're using a VA loan, you're trying not to get in with any down payment money. So hold that thought for a second, but think about the inventory is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. But think about when rates drop. Every person who's thinking about buying, every renter, everybody is going to come into the home buying process, and we're going to go back to multiple offers, bidding up prices. Right. And when you bid up a price, you have to pay the difference in cash. And so if you're trying to buy a VA loan, then you're now having to come up with the difference of the appraised value versus what you're paying.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
So right. And so buy now. The VA has a streamlined rate reduction program which costs next to nothing. Right. And you can bring your rate down when the rates drop.
And veterans can use that every 210 days. So every 210 days, make sure you're checking that rate. If your interest rate is high when you get started, every 210 days you can redo that. IRRL is what it's the short name. We love acronyms in the military.
Right. The IRRL.
IRRL.
Yeah, we call it the IRRL. Yeah.
Right. So you can use that, and you can use it multiple times to buy down your rate. And so that's really good advice. Obviously, I'm one of those people that's in the home buying mode right now. I'm moving from Florida over to Texas, so this is all really great information. Now, tell me, when you were transitioning from the military into the civilian world, what's something that you learned or experienced that you want to share with other veterans?
There's kind of a mindset when you're leaving the military. You think that the civilian world is this new space where everybody kind of has their act together, and you're kind of the new person coming into it. But keep in mind that you're coming out of the military. You've got the discipline, you've got the work ethic, and you can hit the ground running in anything you decide to do, and you're just as good, if not better, than anybody you're competing with. And so you bring a lot of skill sets that the civilian world doesn't have. So embrace it, but you might have to just calm it down a little bit. I was a little hardcore when I first came out of the Army, so I had to kind of chill out a little bit.
It's been 10 years, and I'm probably still the same way. I really don't do well in civilian-packed environments. I just don't. Don't. Yeah. It's entirely too much.
Yeah, it's a whole different world, and I don't even go to the real estate awards ceremonies because they talk about how great they are for selling X number of houses. I'm like, really? Okay, So.
I know.
Yeah, I don't even go to those.
I tell people, I find myself forcing myself to disengage more often than not. And so for that reason, I try and stay away from civilian environments where it's just a bunch of them. I don't do as well in that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I just have to walk around with my earbuds in, just not paying attention.
Right. I don't need to pat myself on my back. I feel like I've done more in the military than I ever thought I was going to do. I commanded soldiers in combat.
Right.
I've been in combat 4 times. So there's nothing left for me to prove to myself. I mean, I work hard every day. I run a big company, but at the end of the day, it's not about my ego. It's about supporting veterans, helping them get into homes. And the average veteran gets $2,000 back after they close with us. So it's not a $100 gift card from Amazon, you know.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the real deal. I mean, we give back more to veterans than anybody in the country. So, and so we help veterans all across the country. We have over 100,000 agents that we access. So we can help you buy in any city, state in the country.
That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here on our show this week. I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to interview you. Well,
great. I appreciate you having me on the show, and thank you again for your service, Semper Fi.
Hoorah.
What? So.
I knew it was coming. Well, listen, America,
oh yeah, it had to.
I'm going to put a link to Eric's company at the bottom in the description of this video so that you can click on that link and get access to his company and learn more about how you can take advantage of the Veterans Real Estate Benefits Program. We're also going to ask you to pay it forward and render a salute of your own by liking and sharing this video. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week on the 5-Minute Salute. My name is Helena Pugh. I am the founder of Zahara Veterans Network. So I started Zahara Veterans Network because as I transitioned out of the military in 2012, I was encountering so many challenges with my transition, and I realized that there really wasn't an organization that spoke definitively to the issues that impacted women veterans, but also I encountered other male veterans who were having very similar issues to which there really wasn't an answer. So I started the organization so that I can provide information for other veterans, but also put us on the path to start providing those services that weren't being offered.